Hit to record. I'm getting an alert saying I don't have any storage left. Okay, hopefully that's recording though. Yeah, that is recording. Okay, great. Okay, so grab the rag as your third thing and just have that handy. All right. So we'll come back to a seated or standing grounded position of some sort. All right, and just settling into your body. Start with a few shoulder circle rolls. Good. And then just bringing that into your swinging rotation. If you're standing, let your hips move with you. And you can give your low back a tap with that opposite hand again, if you're able to. All right. Come back to a still point. We'll close the eyes. And we'll come into some belly breaths. And we're going to take a full body scan today. So let's start at the top of the body. So just noticing how your scalp is feeling. Can you sense your ears? Can you maybe even wiggle your ears? And then let your jaw relax. Notice if you're holding any tension in the jaw. And how does the neck and the top of your shoulders feel right now? Is there a difference between the two sides? A difference between the two shoulders, the two arms, the two wrists and hands? And feel free to wiggle any of these areas as I talk through them. And then noticing your chest, your collarbone area, your upper back. How does that area feel for you? And how does your mid and lower trunk feel? Your belly area, your low back. If you can feel the lower body, tap into the hips, the thighs, the knees. Do the two sides feel different for you? How do the lower legs feel, the ankles, the feet? All right, we'll take one more inhale, one more exhale, and we'll open the eyes. Okay, let's take hands. I'm gonna zoom in. Let's take hands to that area just under your collarbone. We'll just find some gentle tapping all the way across that upper chest. And then seeing if you can stay with that low belly breath. Maybe noticing if there's any tender spots where you're tapping. And then tapping in front of the armpits, if you can reach that spot. Under the armpits. Maybe more rubbing that area now. Bringing that down the sides of your ribs. I'm doing a scratch, but you can do a rub, you can do a tap. Do whatever feels good. And then get that belly area a little bit. Maybe feel where your ribs end and your belly begins. And then if you can lean forward, if you can reach your back, do the same thing with your low back. A scratch, a rub, a tap. If it's hard for you to reach the low back, you can stay with the sides of your trunk. And then shake that out. Okay. Pick an arm, any arm. Same thing here. I'm just going to do a nice gentle rub today. But if you want to do more of a tap or a chop, just waking these areas up, making sure your brain is aware of these areas. Making sure you get the top of the shoulder also kind of up by your neck. And we'll switch sides. Tapping, rubbing, scratching. Connecting your brain to these areas of your body. Do some areas have less sensation or just overall less awareness? Okay, we'll shake that out. Back up again. Let's just go right into the lower body here. The same thing for those upper legs. If you're able to reach the lower legs, you can bring that down into the lower legs. Don't forget the knees. Give the knees a rub, maybe even tracing the outline of that kneecap. For anyone with knee issues out there, just keeping in mind that usually the knee is the victim of something that's going on up the chain or down the chain. So it can be something coming from the ankle or the foot or the hip. And sometimes just giving the knee a little bit of a rub if you're having some knee pain can help bring your awareness to that area and can help with that pain. All right. I'm gonna zoom in again here. Go ahead and grab your rag or your washcloth or napkin, whatever it is that you grabbed. We've done this before, but it's been a while. We're gonna do a little bit of a tongue release. I've talked about the tongue before in this class, but we have a lot of myofascial connections, just connective tissue connections, from our tongue into our neck, into our chest, and down our neck into our shoulders. So sometimes doing a bit of a tongue release can just help with any stickiness you might have in those areas. So grab your rag. Maybe make sure your hands are clean too if you are going to be touching the tongue. I'm going to talk you through this and then I'm going to show you it. It's going to be kind of hard for you to see, so I'm going to mainly talk you through it. You're going to stick your tongue out and grab your tongue with your rag. You're going to then just let everything relax. Maybe sink back into your seat if you're seated. Let your posture relax, let your neck relax. And you're going to take your tongue and you're grabbing it with the cloth and you're just going to move it in really gentle circles, doing several in one direction, several in the other direction. You can move it up, down, side to side. There's no wrong way to do this. It shouldn't hurt. It should feel kind of good. Yeah, so when you're ready, remember to relax and then to do the circles. Breathing into your belly. If you're finding it's hard for you to grab your tongue, let your jaw go slack and just do some gentle circles moving your tongue on its own. Otherwise, I want you to grab the tongue. And just noticing your tongue's range of motion. Does it feel tender going in one way more than the other way? Does this feel like a really, really big stretch for your tongue? Do you feel it going down to your neck at all? And then finish with a little waggle side to side. I don't know if waggle is a word, but it feels appropriate for that movement. Okay, once you've done that, we're done with the rag. You can put it down. And just notice, just feel your cheeks, your jaw, well, you can do it with your hand or just internally, but just noticing if anything feels different here. This can be really subtle, but oftentimes, especially for those of you that clench or have jaw pain or anything like that, that can be accompanied by some tightness in the tongue. So stretching the tongue out, even stretching the cheeks out, which we haven't done in this class, it can just provide a little bit of relief in that whole general area. Okay, let's get some bigger movements in here. So we'll take the arms, we'll reach them up to the sky, find a few wrist twirls. And then we're going to reach the arms up, 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 take an inhale and exhale to articulate down. Inhale at the bottom, just pause for a moment. Give the ribs a little shake side to side. Maybe even give the hips a little shake side to side. And then on your next exhale, articulate yourself back up. Good. Reach up, up, up. Take an inhale. And exhale, roll forward. As you come up on this next one, try to do it with more of a flat back. So you're going to reach your arms out in front of you, lifting, trying to come up with a flat back. We're going to dive down with a rounded back. And then we're going to lift up with more of a flat back if you can. If you need it to keep a hand on your lap to support you, you can do that. Diving down round the spine. Lifting up, flatten the spine. Yeah, and you're doing the same thing if you're standing. Diving down, rounding. Lifting up, flat back. One more here. Diving. and lifting. Good. And then open the arms big behind you. Give yourself a big hug. Let everything round. And then back to the center. Okay. I'm going to have you bring hands behind the head. You can cross arms in front of the chest too, if that's more comfortable. We're just going to do a nice slow rotation with some flexion here. So I want you to try to reach left elbow towards right hip. Nice and slow, and just hold that. How far can you twist and bend, reaching that elbow towards the hip, and then sitting tall. Good. Right elbow towards left hip. Reaching, holding, and then sitting tall. Trying to go just a little bit further each time, getting that spine moving a little bit more. Switching sides, elbow to opposite hip. Sitting tall. Switch sides, elbow to opposite hip. And sit tall. Yeah, and just moving at your own pace, but try to keep it slow. Noticing the difference between the two sides. Is it easier to rotate to one side more than the other? Breathing into each one. And now I want you to do 2 or 3 extra on the side for you that it's harder to rotate towards. If you're unsure which one that is, it's okay. Just pick a side, do a few extra on it. But my guess is it will probably be pretty obvious. Yeah, nice, everyone. That looks really good. One more on that side. And then stacking, let the arms come down, shake it out. Okay. Good. Let's just come into some side bends here. So just let the arms be heavy. Start by tipping the neck. So we'll tip the neck to the left. And then let your spine follow. And then lift that right arm up. And back to the center. Let the head tip to the right. Then the body. And then left hand will come up to the sky. There we go, you got it. And breathing into those open ribs. Head tips over, body tips over, lift the arm. Breathing. And center. Head tips over, body tips over, and then the arm. And center. Good. All right. Let's grab your letter ball. Okay. If you've been playing with me for a while, go ahead and go right into playing. I'll add some brain speed on in a minute. For those of you just joining, I'm just going to talk you through this. So holding that ball into your chest, you're going to move it away from your chest at any angle you want, any angle around your body. Look at the ball, say the first letter or number you see, pull it back into your chest. Pull it away from your chest at a different angle, say the first letter or number you see, pull it back into your chest. And you're just going to continue to do that, moving that ball all around your body, above you, below you, to the right, to the left, maybe behind you. If you're able to play catch with yourself, you're going to play catch with yourself. Oops. Remember pausing that ball right where you catch it. Saying the first letter number, and then doing it again. Oopsies. Okay. Good. So pause for a sec. I'm just going to add on one layer here. I'm going to have you add a spin into the ball. And instead of just looking at the ball and saying the letter, the number right when you catch it, I want you to actually keep your eye on the ball the whole time and try to track the letters and the numbers as it's spinning. If you're doing the ball movements without throwing it to yourself, that just means you're going to kind of spin it in and out as it moves in towards you and away from you. But just trying to track all the letters you see as you do that. If you're playing catch with yourself, add a little bit of spin into that ball. You're still playing the normal letter ball game, but see if you can quickly, you don't have to say the numbers, but see if you can quickly track all of the numbers as it kind of spins in the air. And you can play with how much spin you put on that ball to try to track the letters and the numbers. This one can sometimes make people a little nauseous because you're really trying to watch the ball as it spins the whole time. So if you get nauseous, take a break. If you get dizzy, take a break. Play with how fast you're spinning it. Make sure you're still throwing it all the way around your body. Do 5 or so more throws. And when you've done those 5 or 6, go ahead and relax. We'll set the ball down, and I'm going to have you grab one of your pencils. Yeah, I'm curious, how was for the letter ball with spinning it? Let's do maybe a thumb reading. Give me a thumbs up if it felt as easy as the normal way. Give me a sideways thumb if it was about the same. Give me a down thumb if it felt quite a bit harder. Okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. Mainly down thumbs. I see one up thumb and one side thumb. Okay. That's good to know. Yeah. Cool. But you can see how just changing one thing with that can really significantly change the game. Yeah, we'll keep playing with that over the next couple weeks. Okay.
Of course.
Say it again.
I said, of course you will.
To no one's surprise. Okay, so grab your pencil We did this last week. I'm not going to change it. We're going to do the same thing. So these are, I forget what I called them last week. It's like a spiraling tornado. Let's think of a better word. I'm going to have you hold the pen. You're stirring the pot. That's what I was using. So you're going to stir the pot with that pencil in front of you. Your head is going to stay facing forward. Just your eyes are tracking one letter on that pencil. And you're going to stir that pot. And you're going to start to stir that pot a little higher and a little higher and a little higher. And then stirring that pot a little lower and a little lower. So you're just doing these big kind of horizontal circles, slowly lifting the pencil, slowly lowering the pencil. Your head shouldn't be moving. Just your eyes are moving. Just your eyes are tracking that pencil. And stay with that spiral, spiraling up, spiraling down. Maybe do 3 up and down, then switch the direction and do 3 up and down. For folks that are blind or visually impaired, I'm going to have you be doing a similar movement. Arms can stay crossed in front of your chest, but you're going to do that movement with your whole body and your head. So you're going to kind of circle and spiral, getting lower to the floor, and then circle and spiral, lifting the chest to the sky, and then spiraling back down. Okay, so just working the vestibular system a little bit more. Testing that eye range of motion. How high and how wide can that pencil go as it spirals and stirs the pot? Remember, the faster you go, the harder this gets for you to track. And also, the smaller the letter is that you're tracking, the harder it gets. So the more precise your eyes have to be, the more challenging it is for you. Once you've done about 3 in each direction, 3 up and down in each direction, set the pencil down just for a moment so I know you're done, and just come into a forward roll down. Taking an inhale at the bottom, and then rolling back up. Yeah, we're just gonna do that. Yeah, just do that one more time. Articulating down. And articulating back up. Yeah, for anyone who got dizzy or woozy or nauseous with that spiral one, that's not an easy one, because we're combining eye tracking with near far, with up and down. We're working in this 3-dimensional plane, so it's a little bit harder than just jumping the eyes back and forth. Yeah, but when you get dizzy, remember to pause and take a break with that. Okay, let's grab both pencils now. And we're going to do eye saccades. We're going to do those eye jumps back and forth, but we're going to do this one with moving pencils. So I'm just going to show you this one first. For folks that are blind or visually impaired, I'm going to give you something a little different. So you're going to hold one pencil up, one pencil down. Again, your nose is going to stay facing forward, so head stays steady the whole time. Just your eyes are jumping back and forth. You're going to start by just jumping your eyes from one letter to the next. But then as you do that, you're going to switch the pencils. So the other pencil goes high, the other pencil goes low, and then you're going to switch back and forth. So just moving those pencils up and down as your eyes jump back and forth. Again, the faster you go, the harder this gets, so you can pick your pace. I'm going to have you do 20 in that direction, and then you're going to do 20 in more of a side to side direction. So moving the pencils more horizontally instead of vertically, but you still have one stacked in front of the other. Really, there's no wrong way to do this. If you feel confused, moving the pencils around and jumping the eyes back and forth, you're doing it right. Okay, for folks that are blind or visually impaired, we're going to bring that into more of a head and neck movement. So pointing your nose up and to the left, down and to the right. So just moving your head quickly. We'll do about 10 to 20 in one diagonal, 10 to 20 on the other diagonal. Keep going with that. Notice which of those is harder for you. Is it harder for you to look up and to the right than it is for you to look up and to the left? Is it harder for you to track one pencil moving in one direction than the other? Okay, so just taking note. The goal is just to make those eye jumps as fluid as possible. Yeah. Do just a few more wherever you're at. And then we'll set the pencils down and we'll come back to the center. Okay, cool. Let's come back to some spine movements here. So we'll take left arm out to the side. Okay, and I just want you to start, so palm face is facing down towards the ground, and then flip your palm so it's facing up to the sky. Facing down to the ground, if you can even turn it more down towards the ground, maybe back behind you, and then up to the sky. Flipping it down, flipping it up. Closing the shoulder, that's internal rotation. Opening the shoulder, that's external rotation. Close and open. Close and open. One more. And open. Good. Okay, we're going to combine that shoulder movement with some spine movements. So keep that palm facing up to the sky. Find a translation to the left and then back to the center. Translate left and center. Yeah, and remember with these translations, shoulders stay parallel to the floor. You're just gliding the shoulders. That's it. That's it. Okay, so let's add on. Translate left. Come back to the center. Take that hand. I want you to reach that hand across the body towards your right pocket, like you were trying to get something out of your right pocket. And I want you to lean over to your right. Open the shoulder. Palm is up, reaching out to the left. Translate left. Reach across the body, close the shoulder, try to reach into that pocket, lean to the right. That's it. Open the arm, the shoulder, translate left. Reach into the pocket, lean to your right. Yeah. And just nice and slow. And then trying to exaggerate each of those. Shoulder and then leaning. Open the shoulder, translating. How far can you go? Closing the shoulder, leaning, opening the shoulder, translating. Close and lean. Open, translate. Just one more on this side. Really trying to take you through this full shoulder and spine range of motion, and then shake that arm out. Same thing other side. Bring right arm out to the side. Palm up, palm down and back. Palm up, palm down and back. Open the shoulder, close. Open, yeah, and you can self-touch that shoulder just to feel what's going on. What does it feel like? What does it look like when the shoulder closes? What does it feel like? What does it look like when the shoulder opens? Being in that open position with the shoulder is a bit safer, and we're a bit stronger there than we are in the closed position. Okay, leave that shoulder open, translate to the right, and then center. Translate right and center. Reach, center, reach, and center. Let's layer on. Bring that arm across the body, trying to reach into the left pocket, leaning to the left. Open the shoulder, translate right. Hand to the pocket, lean left, closing the shoulder, and then opening the shoulder, translate right. That's it. Close and lean. Open, translate. Close, lean. Open, translate. Really trying to exaggerate, noticing how the sides feel compared to each other. Just do one more. Good, and then back to the center. Let everything hang heavy and come into a roll down. Pause at the bottom, take a couple breaths. And then rolling yourself back up. Okay, let's do a little bit. Actually, we could do this for the feet too. Let me slip my shoes off. I'm gonna give you a couple options. You could do this with the hands and or the feet. I'm gonna zoom in just to show you the hands here. So I'm just gonna have you find a wave through the hands. Curling, trying to go joint by joint by joint, opening, swooshing forward, closing, joint by joint by joint, opening, spreading, and then closing. So you're just really trying, you're like channeling your inner kitten. I don't have a good growl or a good meow, so I'm not going to do it, but please feel free to add a growl or a meow. Yes, I see some people doing it. That's amazing. Okay, for standing athletes, this might be kind of hard to see, but if you'd like to add the feet or try the feet, you can. You're doing the same thing. Spread, point, curl, pull the foot back. Spread, point, curl the toes, pull the foot back. So you're kind of trying to do the exact same motion through your feet. For those of you doing it through your hands, switch directions. If you're doing it through the feet, do a couple more on that side and then switch directions.
Can you demonstrate switch direction?
Yeah, good question. So pulling the hands back, bending joint by joint by joint, curling forward like the wave is going down, the wave is going up. So the wrists pull back, joint by joint by joint, down. Yeah. Joint by joint by joint, wrist down, fingers spread open. I'll show you facing forward now. joint by joint by joint. Yeah, you got it, you got it, you got it. If any of you have sticky or tight hands or arthritis in your fingers, and for those of you where this is harder through your hands, doing this motion with the wrists and even this first set of knuckles is still really good to help mobilize the wrists. So whatever motion you have in the hands or the joints of the hand, just do as much as you can through there. Go ahead and shake that out. Okay. Let's do just one quick coordination thing and then we'll wrap up here. Okay, we're gonna use that that wave with your hand or with your wrist as one part of the coordination piece. So let's start maybe left hand, finding a wave, whichever direction you want to go, finding the wave out through, that's it, out through the wrist and through the hand. Okay, keep going with that. Let me make sure I'm gonna say this right. You're gonna tap, we're gonna do some cross body taps. Your other hand is gonna, so right hand is gonna tap right ear, left hip, right knee. Right ear, left hip, right knee, as your hand does the wave. Okay, so just start with that. Ear, hip, knee. The slower you go, the easier it will be. If that feels too easy, pick up the speed in both hands. Oops, shit. You might even find that that wave hand starts to get a little tired. Yeah. Working those intrinsic muscles of the hand, those small muscles on the inside of the hand. Okay, just do a couple more. Pause. Go right into the wave with the other hand. Oh, doing it backwards here. Again, whichever direction you want to go. Other hand is going to tap. So left hand is going to tap left ear, right hip, left knee. Left ear, right hip, left knee. You choose your speed. Oh, shit. There you go. You're doing great. You're doing great. Just do a few more like this. Yeah. Good, and relax. Did anyone find that they were tapping themselves with the waving hand? I know, I noticed that. That was good. Okay, give everything a big shake. Give the legs a shake if you can. We'll come back to a seated or standing grounded position. We'll close the eyes. Find that belly breath again. And then just finding that full body scan, noticing how the jaw, maybe even the tongue and neck feel right now. How do the shoulders and the chest feel? I'm sure you're probably feeling the wrist and the hands and the forearms a little bit, so just noticing that. How does your belly feel? How's your low back feeling? the hips and the thighs. The knees, the lower legs. Give your ankles and toes a wiggle if you can. Go ahead and think of one thing you're grateful for today. We'll take one more inhale. One more exhale. And we'll open the eyes. All right. Thank you for joining, everyone. No new announcements. It's good to see. Actually, no, wait.